Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with our very own SBR contributor, Jeff Grant. And today we're looking at that NFL NFC Championship game between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Doing great, Dax. I'm really excited for these matchups because I think you have the four best quarterbacks in the NFL today, and you can argue that these two are the most talented. Of course, one is limited in what he can do with his feet.
Yeah, that calf injury's been nagging him all season long. All right, man, karma is pretty much all I can say about what happened to Dallas last week. I mean, I guess they had what they had. They got what they had coming for them. As a Detroit player also said after that Dez Bryant catch was overturned, of course. We know that feeling. Anyways, man, we saw how Green Bay utilized the balanced attack to move past Dallas Cowboys this past Sunday, even with Rodgers limping a bit in the pocket. Anyways, man, how important is this? Is it for the Packers to maintain that style of play offensively when they head to the Pacific Northwest to play at Sea-Link?
Absolutely vital, and what they've done the last two meetings in this series, even though they've lost Dax, is the fact that they have tried to maintain balance. In losing those games, they've had 255 and 268 total yards, 80 and 84 in terms of the run, 175 and 184 in terms of the pass. Of course, those type of numbers aren't going to win at CenturyLink Field, so they're going to have to be more efficient on the offensive end. That's exactly what they were on their home field, though, against the Dallas Cowboys defensive unit that's not nearly as good as the Seattle Seahawks. Rodgers throwing for 316 yards. Eddie Lacy, 19 rushes for 101 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. If they try to maintain the balance that you saw with Carolina early in that game. Carolina played with Seattle for much of that game. The score doesn't really indicate that, but a couple turnovers, of course, and you just can't beat Seattle in turning over the football. Green Bay does a great job of protecting it. But the most significant thing that I found is the fact that Green Bay was able to move the football last week, given the fact that Jordan Nelson only had 2 catches for 22 yards. You figure Richard Sherman's going to be on him. They did not test him last time. They don't have to do it again. Don't think what the media is going to say all week that they need to attack Richard Sherman. The fact that they put up 425 total yards against Dallas with him just having 22 receiving yards tells me they don't have to.
Well, yeah, and Rodgers already said, I believe at the beginning of the season, that he was pretty much going to be without work because he wasn't going to pass to him at all. Anyways, I kind of guess what we saw, what had Seattle expected for this game. I mean, they just captured their 8th consecutive home playoff game after getting that 31-17 victory over Cam Newton and the Panthers this last Saturday. But Jeff, I mean, is that enough for the Seahawks to actually have a shoe-in to get in an opportunity to win back-to-back Super Bowls?
That's what everybody's going to think. I think they're going to get an avalanche of money on the Seahawks money line here. The line basically opened at 6.5 in the market here in Las Vegas. It quickly moved to 7.5. Not very surprising. That line started to move in the offshore market as Green Bay appeared that they're going to win. Seattle wants Green Bay in this game, even though they'd like to get revenge against Dallas. They'd much rather have Green Bay than Dallas in this matchup. So they get what they get in the terms of Rodgers is going to have to win this game in the pocket. Seattle will game plan to really get after him, and I expect Cam Chancellor to play this game near the line of scrimmage in hopes of trying to stop Eddie Lacy. They have a talented secondary. They don't really need to have both safeties back in this matchup because they're going to force Rodgers to throw the ball in the middle of the field. So when you look at Seattle, it's hard to beat Russell Wilson at the stadium, man. 8 for 8 on third downs. The guy is playing. If it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers and what he can do with the football in terms of throwing it, this guy would be considered the top player in the NFL right now, what he does for this offense. Of course, Marshawn Lynch should be able to run the football. That's really the matchup that this game's going to hinge on offensively for Seattle. Marshawn Lynch trying to run in between the tackles while Clay Matthews is positioned on the inside for Green Bay rather than the outside. That's the change from the regular season opener for these two teams. Matthews now playing in the inside of that defense for Green Bay.
Yeah, we saw how DeMarco Murray ran 121 last week as well. So it's definitely a tough pick here, man. I mean, if Rodgers were 100% without that calf injury, I might lean towards him, but Seattle's going to be tough with that 12th man, man. So what's the pick here?
I'm going to go with the under the total here. I'm going to go under 47. Really jumped off the page to me. I think Green Bay is going to have some success in at least moving the football, not necessarily scoring it. The weather conditions expected to be showery at times. That really changes. Of course, we're 5-6 days out from the game. But I think Green Bay is going to have success moving the football, and that's what Carolina had. They stayed close because they held on to the football through the first 3 quarters of that game. Seattle did not have the ball very long, but as I broke out in that previous video for Seattle against Carolina, Seahawks are all about explosive offensive plays. So I think that's the game plan here. Run Eddie Lacy. Don't turn over the football. And, of course, Seattle, I think they're going to be more run-oriented than pass-oriented in this matchup. So I expect the clock to be running. Green Bay is not going to be able to tempo Seattle on their home field because of the crowd noise. So they're not going to have that tempo that they really have that advantage that they used against the Cowboys at Lambeau Field. So I'm going to go under the total.
No doubt it's going to be an awesome game, Jeff. All right, man. Thanks a lot for all the insights, and we'll talk some more football again tomorrow.
Thank you.
No problem. And for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.